Hello everyone, this is Benny Hills back with another vintage cube draft. Just over a week left, so definitely gonna squeeze it for what it's worth. Couple quick announcements. First of all, one of my videos just got posted on Channel Fireball, so I'm really excited about that. I love Channel Fireball. It's like one of my top it's definitely my top Magic website, and so to be featured there and see my name next to like LSV and other names is very, very awesome. So definitely check that out. I mean, if you've seen a lot of my videos on my channel, you may have already seen the video, but it's a really sweet one. I'm on a white deck that definitely panned out. So really excited about that, and we're sort of working out the details, but I'm hoping that I can start posting to Channel Fireball a little bit more regularly too. So that would be pretty sweet. Um, and then secondly, after this video, I'm going to record a pick order video. So a couple of people have requested that. Um, this one, I'm not sure exactly when it'll be released because it'll definitely take a lot longer to edit and also longer to record maybe, or at least like more thought to record. So definitely keep your eyes peeled for that one. I think it'll be pretty sweet. A lot of good information there. And I think a lot of my videos are sort of like anyone can watch them. My hope is that everyone enjoys them, but I'm talking about things at a pretty high level, and so it could be a bit inaccessible to someone who's just starting Cube. But I think a pick order video will be great for anyone, but including people that don't know Cube as well and sort of can give you a solid baseline for just understanding what things are powerful. So I hope everyone watches all my videos, but if you have any friends that are a little bit less experienced with Cube maybe and interested in learning about it, then that would be a great video to refer them to and sort of give them a solid grounding for attacking the format. All right, here we go. Let's open that power. Oh, no power. Decent pack though. Not a great pack. The two cards that I think it's really between here are Strip Mine and Arbor Elf. Arbor Elf is one of the best mana accelerants. It's worse than Draga Tree Speaker, which is definitely the best. I'm talking about one mana ones here. Raphaelos is the best. I would probably say it's worse than Birds of Paradise and Noble Hierarch too, but it's definitely the best after those. The fact that it can create multicolored mana is very nice if you have Tropical Island or another dual land, and there's other random upside like untapping a 3/3 if you have Nissa in play. So this is definitely better than Llanowar Elves by a decent margin, but I think we should go with Strip Mine here. This is good in really one deck, whereas Strip Mine is good in many different decks. It's good in mono green. It's good in mono red or mono white, any sort of aggressive deck where you have a low curve. It's also very good in some decks where you sort of build around it a bit and get like Crucible or other effects like that. So I think we'll go with the Strip Mine. Unfortunately, no great blue cards there, but this is a decent place to start. This pack is much, much stronger. There is a breeding pool. So if we had taken the Arbor Elf, I think we would probably go with this here. There's Tinker, which is just busted. This can be so good. I mean, it's a bit unfortunate that the Blightsteel is in the same pack, but Blightsteel could wheel, and even if it doesn't, there's other great Tinker targets. There's Consecrated Sphinx, which is just a more generic blue card that just is awesome. Just draws a lot of cards. It's very castable. It's a good reanimator target sometimes. There's also Mox Diamond, which has some cool synergy with Strip Mine because this really leads us towards sort of like a graveyard land thing, like Remnant of Excavator, Renin 6, and Crucible World are all very good with this card. I kind of think that's what we should take here. I'll narrow it down to Tinker and Mox Diamond, but Mox Diamond plays very well with this Strip Mine and is just like, again, good in a very wide variety of decks. So I think I like taking that here. Okay. If we take Tinker, we could go Emery and do some sort of artifact thing, but I don't think we're doing that at this point, and I don't think blue looks particularly open. There's no, like, real graveyard synergy stuff here, except for sort of Eternal Witness. I mean, Eternal Witness back Strip Mine is nice, but it's not amazing. Smuggler's Copter is just a great card, and these cards do both lend themselves well to aggressive decks, so we could take Copter and try and end up in some sort of aggressive deck. I think it's between Copter and Thoughtseize here. This is a fairly late Thoughtseize, and Thoughtseize doesn't pair particularly well with Mox Diamond, but it's fine, and if you end up with Reanimator that has Grizzlebrand, it's very good. So I kind of think I like that. I do, yeah, it's between Thoughtseize and the Smuggler's Copter, but I think Thoughtseize, this is a late Thoughtseize, and this card is very good. So we'll go with this and see if we can do some sort of reanimation thing. Alright. A lot of white stuff here. Not a lot of blue stuff. We're still very nebulous at this point. No clear plan. We could take Rotting Regisaur and sort of move in on the Reanimator thing, but I don't really like doing that when we have no actual reanimation cards. Like, we don't have a Reanimate effect, we don't have a Fatty, and, I mean, I guess Thoughtseize is sort of a discard outlet, but that's not really where we're at. I kind of like taking Badlands here. I think Jund is not a particularly good color combination in general, but Ren and Sick, well, actually, Bayou's probably better than Badlands, actually. Like, it is good if we can get the Ramen Excavator and Ren and Six thing going, and that deck does tend to be somewhat open. So I think we'll go with the Bayou, maybe wheel the Badlands, or just stay open for Reanimator, but we'll take this. Okay, so we could take a Blackleaf Cliffs if we think we're going to end up in Jund. We could take a Garrick Wildspeaker, but that doesn't seem great. We could take a Kitesaw Freebooter, but again, not inspiring. It's okay in Reanimator. It's actually pretty solid in Reanimator because it can protect your cards, and then you can sack it to Recurring Nightmare. But it's definitely not great. I actually think I am going to take the Blackleaf Cliffs. We're sort of really hoping that we get Ren and Six at this point, but I think that that's a solid place to be. We could also just take Legion's Landing and wheel into white. Actually, I think we are going to take Legion's Landing. Blackleaf Cliffs isn't a super high upside card. Okay, yeah, white is open. There's a Stomping Ground, but I think at this point, we're going to move in on white. Like, it's clearly very open, the fact that there's Figure Destiny and Stoneforge here. I'm sad we don't have the Smuggler's Copter now, but I think a great mono white deck is probably better than this Jund deck, and we don't even know if we can get there with that. We're very reliant on a couple cards, and mono white also uses strip line very well. So Figure of Destiny and Stoneforge are both quite good. It's close between those two, but I think Stoneforge is a bit better, especially when we have the Mox Diamond to accelerate it out on turn 1, and we already do have a 1-drop too, so hopefully we can reel this Figure of Destiny. I don't think it's particularly likely, but it's possible, but we'll take a Stoneforge here. We also could end up in black-white. Thoughtseize is a great card to splash in these sorts of decks. Ooh. It's a late Tundra, but I think we should take the Skull Clamp. I would love this Mutavault, but Skull Clamp is awesome. And we have Mox Diamond, which makes it better. It's like, I mean, this card, it uses mana and sets you back on board. So if you have mana ramp and you can sort of make use of the extra cards very efficiently, then that's pretty sweet. We have Stoneforge to find it, go to Legion's Landing, and just getting it early, we can sort of prioritize 1 toughness creatures for a while. So this is a good blue-white control pack with Elspeth Conquers Death, Tundra, and Narset. And then there is an Inquisition too, but I think at this point, this is where we should be. I mean, if our goal is to trophy, this is where we should be. We could just go for like fun and try and do this, and like that would be solid. But like, look at the Spectral Procession. Like, this is just so good for us with Skull Clamp. I mean, yeah, Reanimator and Jund, kill your stuff and hope they're not playing blue is. They're both open too, but I think Spectral Procession is the pick here. Wow, yeah, super late Student of Warfare. That's perfect. If we were in this weird Jund deck, we could take Questing Beast, but Student of Warfare is just very good. Another thing that we can kill off with Skull Clamp and a Mana Sink for the Mox Diamond. Wow, yeah, we found the open lane. I like these both quite a bit, and we do have Armageddon, which plays well with Mox Diamond, and we do have Strip Mine too, actually. But I still think we should go with a hero. It just hits so hard. It's great if you can accelerate it out, and it makes a bunch of 1/1s that are great with Skull Clamp. So, yeah, sad to miss that Armageddon, especially since we do have a bit of a land destruction theme, but I think this is the right pick. Oh, wow. Okay. That's awesome. Spear Fiat is fine, and it's, I mean, good with Spectral Procession, but it's not great with Skull Clamp, and this card is just awesome. Cream of the crop. Like, I can't believe this is going so late. Clearly just aggressive. These are all, like, fairly aggressive cards. No one's drafting aggressive here, which is good for us. Alright, we'll take a Gideon for the board. Don't love this card in the main, but I think it's solid. Okay, there's that Blackleaf Cliffs we almost took. We'll take the Concealed Courtyard. There is still a world where we end up playing Thoughtseize. Wow, okay, yeah. I'm so confident that we're going to end up with a busted deck here. Like, this is just, it's so textbook when oh, man. We're really running back my 4th video, I think. This is just perfect. Like, there is a sword, a Fire Knight, so we would love to wheel that, and we probably won't, although this is a pretty good pack. Like, what's going to get taken here? Stone Coil Serpent, Firebolt, Dig Through Time, Urza, probably Uro. It's actually not a great packet. Maybe we won't wheel the sword, but hopefully we do. But we are going to take the library here. Even though we have Stoneforge, library is just amazing. We already have 9 basically uncuttables. Like, we might have to cut some just because we're so open. But these are all, like, absolutely incredible in this deck. Also, Mox Diamond plays very well with library. Just another way to use your extra cards very efficiently. So, pretty easy library here. Library and Strip Mine are the 2 best lands we could have. So, good start there. Ooh. Fractured Identity is so good. But we already know we're not getting Tundra. And I think we're doing mono white at this point. I think that's the right place to be. All 3 of these white cards are good. We would play all of them, probably. Hallowed Spearkeeper is probably the worst. Council Judgment is the least replaceable. And less likely to wheel than Adante Vanguard. But I really do prioritize just cheap things that hit hard. And this is another card that's good with Skull Clamp. So is Hallowed Spearkeeper. But Adante Vanguard is just a better card. I think I'm going to take the Vanguard. I still think the Council Judgment will wheel. Oh, actually, no. There's no way that Adante Vanguard ever doesn't wheel. I'd wager many, many cows on that. So we'll take a Council Judgment and wheel the Adante Vanguard. And if it doesn't wheel, then I'll forego all my trophies. Okay. Enlightened Tutor is interesting because it's like, I think this deck will be so much better when we draw Skull Clamp. And we already have 1 tutor, but that gives us a second tutor, and then it can also find Mox Diamond or Smuggler's Copter if we need to. There's also a sword, though, and I do like having swords with Stoneforge, especially since we're hoping to wheel the Sword of Fire Knight, and that would give us blue, red, black, and green. Enlightened Tutor is probably more likely to wheel, and also probably a bit less important. So I think we are going to take the sword, although this card becomes much better when the card that you're searching for can offset the card disadvantage, and Skull Clamp can certainly do that. So, but I think it'll wheel. We're going to go with this and wheel the Enlightened Tutor. Okay, well, this is close. Battle Skull is good with Stoneforge, but we're not going to take it here. And Silverblade's good in this deck, but we're also not going to take it here. They're both amazing, and we would love to wheel them, and we'll probably wheel at least the Silverblade, but these 2 are the ones that I'm looking at here. Amazing, amazing removal spell, and we don't have... Well, actually, we do have Council Judgment. But I think we should go with the Wasteland. It's just so perfect for this sort of deck. Again, especially with Mox Diamond and card draw. So... And it won't wheel, and Swords also probably won't wheel, but it could. And also, again, we have so many spells. So lands are an easier place to upgrade than spells for us here. So we'll take the Wasteland, hope to wheel the Swords, more likely wheel the Silverblade, but definitely wheel something. So, solid place to be. Okay, I like Sword of Body and Mind better than Sword of Feast and Famine. If we got no other swords, we might play them both, but we'll play this for now. Myria Angel is good with Skull Clamp, but not great otherwise. And Oblivion Ring is just a way worse Council's Judgment, so we'll take this. I know some people aren't a huge fan of the sword because the milling them can help, specifically against Reanimator and against Storm. It can help them, but in general, I think milling them 10 is net good for you, and like we just won't tutor for it if they're playing those decks. I mean, I guess if we're playing Reanimator and we naturally draw this, sure, that's a bit awkward, but I think it's still worth playing because it's just so good in a lot of other matchups. Here we'll take the Fairgrounds Warden. It's not an absolute stud, but this isn't really a balanced deck. I mean, it's okay with Mox Diamond, but not great overall, and it's just a good removal spell that can also carry equipment and stuff, so also to cruise Copter well. Okay, we'll go with the Factory here. Angel Invention would maybe make the cut. Hopefully it won't, and I don't think it would, because this is probably, like, if I just had all the white cards in the cube and I could just build my perfect mono white deck, this would probably be like the 35th card. Maybe the 30th, but definitely not in the top 24. And I think this deck will be close enough to the perfect mono white deck that we can be a bit more selective than that and just take the land. Do we want Parallax Wave or Selfless Spirit? They're both pretty good. Parallax Wave has a high ceiling. It is just amazing sometimes, but I kind of think we should take the Spirit here. It is a bit annoying. Yeah, we can't get them both. I do think there's a good chance the other one will be the last pick. But I do want to have some flyers. It, again, is another card that is good with Skull Clamp. It's good against board sweepers, which are generally pretty problematic for the white deck, and I don't really want to have too many fours, so we'll take a Selfless Spirit here. Nice. Okay, very, very happy to wheel this. Now that we have that, I actually do think we're going to play this sword just so we can have maximum number of colors of protection. Wow, I'm surprised Dig Through Time came back. And Oro. But, yeah, we'll definitely take this here. And now our Stoneforge package is looking amazing. Nice, I get to keep my trophies. Sad we can't get this, but we're definitely taking the Dante Vanguard here. We have more 3s than 2s, and this just hits hard, and it's hard to interact with, and go to Skull Clamp, just checks all the boxes. Alright, solid Revlock for the board. There's a world where we're on this Thoughtseize Exhume thing, but I think this world is more likely to give us that trophy. Ooh. Silverblade is more likely to make the main deck, but I think we should take the Batterskull because there's some matchups where this will just be a huge upgrade. When we can Stoneforge for Batterskull in certain matchups, that will just end the game. And Silverblade will be always solid, but never like your best card in your deck. So I think that's the right pick here. These are all cards that we could play that I'm putting on the board, but I'm going to optimistically not do that. If we were to play one of these cards, I guess it would probably be Archangel Avacyn or Batterskull. Or Batterskull, probably. But hopefully we don't. We did not get the Enlightened Tutor back. That's a bit sad. Well, there's some very good cards here. Oko and Teferi are both amazing. So is Preordain. Definitely solid blue in this pack. Walking Ballista isn't great for us. It's just, like, we're not going to have a whole lot of mana, but none of the other cards are very good at all either. We could take a Day of Judgment for the board. Yeah, this is definitely just a brick for us, though. I think we are going to take the Ballista because it's great in some matchups, but we might not even play it, and so to get a card that you're not playing in your first pick is obviously not exactly where you want to be. Oh, but following it up with one we are definitely going to play. Leonin Relic Warder is incredible. It comes down cheap. It removes an artifact or enchantment. We don't have any other ways to interact with those right now, and plays super well with Strip Mine and Wasteland. So, great pickup for us. Nice. Another great pickup. Thalia is maybe the best card in mono white in general, and our creature count is a bit low, but it's not too low, and even if it is low, this card is still amazing. So, easy Thalia here. Turn 1 Thalia off of Mox is pretty busted. There's a $10 Scholar, which I do like if we could do the Black Splash, but at this point, with so many colorless lands and only one fixing, like, I don't think we're going to get there. So, Relic is solid, but we want the Blade Splicer pretty badly. This is an amazing card with Skull Clamp because you can kill off the Blade Splicer itself, and you still get a 3/3, which is a very relevant body. So, that's just an awesome pickup. And if we don't have Skull Clamp, it also just carry these swords and just generally be a good card. Okay. Great Flicker Wisp deck here. We can flicker our own Leonin Relic Warder or Stoneforge to get some solid value off of those triggers. Also Blade Splicer for sure. Sometimes Fairgrounds Warden. Maybe Batterskull if we do end up playing that, and then it can also just remove blockers, hit in the air. In a pinch, you can kill it off with Skull Clamp. So happy to get this. We're light on 1-drops. That's the thing we're most lacking. So we're going to really prioritize those going forward. I think that we haven't passed any 1-drops, and I can't imagine someone else would have taken them. So I think that they just haven't been opened yet. So even though there's not a ton more picks left for us that are fresh, I think there's a good chance we can get at least one more, if not two. We'll take Unexpectedly Absent. Solid removal spell. Probably not quite as good as Council Judgment, but it is cheaper, which is nice. Okay, this is a brick. That's unfortunate. Yeah, none of these cards are going to make it except for Wall of Omens maybe in the board. Okay, nice. We did get the 1/1 drop. I would have liked one more for sure, but now we have 5 turn 1 plays, and with Mox Diamond, that's 6. So that's something. Yeah, this pack is still bad for us. These are both decent sideboard cards, but I think Day of Judgment is a bit better, especially since we have Selfless Spirit. That's a pretty sweet combo if there's just a very clogged board and you can Wrath their whole team, keep yours, and then just crash on in. So, pretty happy to get the Wrath. Banishing Light is okay. It's definitely a good card in general, but we have a lot of 3s already, so I'm not thrilled about playing this card. We are going to take it because there's nothing else really, but I'm not sure if we're going to play it. Okay, none of these are going to make the cut. Terminus is much worse. We're going to take Ashen Rider in case we ever play Show and Tell deck. Okay, yeah, nothing here. So I think what we have here is what we're going to get. So we do need to play a couple cards that aren't absolutely astounding, but they're all still good. We should probably just get the Batterskull in here. I think it's worth it. And then we want to play definitely at least 16 lands because Mox Diamond makes us pitch a land. I almost want to play 17 lands, but that's probably a bit excessive because then that's 18 cards that just produce mana. I guess we'll put in a Walking Ballista. Cruise Copter, it's a good mana sink. And then I think Archangel Avacyn is the next best card. Also, just nice. Now we have 2 hedges against sweepers, so that's pretty nice. Maybe we should just play Amiria Angel actually because of its synergy with Skull Clamp. Yeah, I think we should do that. Keep our curve a bit lower and just have that value engine going. Also, just creating a bunch of flyers is great with swords. So this deck is probably worse than the other green decks or the other white decks that I've drafted on this stream, but it has a lot of things going for it. One, it has a lot more flyers. Copter, Selfless Spirit, Flicker Wisp, Amiria Angel, Spectral Procession. So that'll be good in a lot of matchups, great with equipment. And then secondly, it also has an amazing mana base. Like I've had other decks like that, but great mana base. And then great Stoneforge package, like a Mox. No, like none of the best Moxen, but I do think this is a pretty sweet place to be, and I think this is better than if we had gone down the sort of Jones Strip Mine land thing. So we'll play this, add in those 12 planes, and just leave it on up. Oh, one other thing this has going for it is I do think Skull Clamp is a massive, massive boon in a lot of matchups. Not always, but against any deck that's trying to trade with us and sort of counter our spells and kill our creatures, then Skull Clamp is just such a trump card. We have 14 creatures, most of which it works very well with. We also have Legion's Landing, Spectral Procession. Yeah, just lots of ways to turn this thing into cards, and then lots of ways to turn those cards into damage and more bodies and more cards. There's definitely an argument to playing the sword over one of these swords, or not over Fire and Ice, but over Feast and Famine. But I do think having a main deck sword that gives protection from green, or from black is worth it. Oh, wow. Okay, so we're presented with a major crossroads immediately. We could play turn 1 Thalia, which is devastating for a lot of decks. Or we could play Library. And, oh, Mana Vault, okay. Okay, I think against that, oh man, what is this? Golgari Signet into another Signet. Man, turn 1 Thalia would have been so good, turn 1 Thalia would have been very good against them. But I think we should just play Library. It's definitely close, and if we had a really good hand where we could be like curving out, hitting them really hard, then there's a chance we would do that. But I think Library is just so good. Oh, wait, whoops. So we could drop to 8, play Mox down to 6. Now, if we play Threadbane Inspector, then we're off the Library plan immediately, which I don't really want to do. So we'll see. This is definitely close, and there's strong arguments for just going with the turn 1 Thalia, but they already have 3 mana at least. They'll go up to 4, and so I don't think a tax effect is as impressive. If we were on turn 1 of the play and we knew they had this hand, then it would have been amazing, obviously, but neither of those conditions were met, so we'll just draw a million cards and hope that's good enough. Also, semi-relevant that they're going to be taking 1 damage a while from this. So we'll see. Do you have a scary 3-drop, or are you just going to pass? Okay, that is fine. So we will draw a card. Then draw another card up to 9. Play Mox Diamond, discard a land, which will put us down to 7. Draw another card, and then play Smuggler's Copter, I think. We could play something else, but I think Copter will be pretty nice when we have a lot of lands. And we don't want to play double 1-drop because that takes us off of library. So we play our land, that puts us down to 7. Yeah, I think this is the best move. We could also play Thalia. Maybe that's better, but Smuggler's Copter hits harder, hits in the air, and if we play Thalia, then that makes Legion's Landing and Copter worse. And like again, I just don't think tax when they're ahead on mana by this much, a universal tax effect, even if it is a bit worse for them than us, I'm not sure it's worth it. And it's not even clear that it's worse for them. Like they have 5 mana. I guess if they don't have a land and they do have a 5 mana Planeswalker, we'll definitely wish we played the Thalia. But even if that does happen, Smuggler's Copter is a good way to pressure it. So I think this is fine. So now on our turn, we can draw back up to 7. Library. Oh, they're just untapping Mana Vault. Interesting. Even Relic Order would be a sweet draw here. But so we'll draw our 7th card. Library up to 8. And then probably just play Blade Splicer to stay on the library plan. We could also go Thalia plus Legion's Landing. Not in that order, but... Ooh. Actually, I think I like just getting rid of... We could get rid of the Mana Vault. There's definitely some really scary stuff they could do. They did miss a land drop there, I think. Yeah, they did. Yeah, I think we should just get that off the table, honestly. I would much rather draw Leon in Relic Order, but if we don't, we'll just Council Judgment the Mana Vault. We could also save it to Council Judgment whatever they play, but there's a lot of things that wouldn't work well against. Like, if they played a Terastodon, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, yeah. If they played a Terastodon, like, that could mess us up even if we Council Judgment, so we'll just slow them down here. It is annoying that we can't attack with a Copter, but I think it's worth it to slow them down by 3 mana. So we're not really doing anything right now. Like we haven't dealt them any damage, so that's not great. But they haven't done much either. They're not even really ahead of us on mana, and we've drawn 1 million cards, and they only have 3 cards in hand. So I think that this is a fine place to be. So they're playing Jund, and they have a 5-drop. Nissa, okay. I mean that's good. But there's a decent chance we'll be able to kill that in 2 turns. So the question is if we want to go off the library now to just worry about that Nissa. And that's close. We have 5 mana, so we could play Thalia plus Blade Splicer, but I think it's not much worse just to play Blade Splicer plus Legion's Landing, and then Blade Splicer plus Thraben Inspector, so we are going to draw another card. There's also, like, it's fine, but a 3/3 first strike will hold off the dudes very well. So we'll start with just playing a Blade Splicer. Crew the Copter with the 1/1. Hit Nissa for 3. Loot. Okay, easy pitch land there, obviously. So now, if we play land Thraben Inspector, that does take us off library, which is a bit annoying, but I think we need to... Well, Thraben Inspector doesn't do a ton, but I do think we can't just sit back and keep drawing cards when they have a Nissa. So we are going to do this. We're probably going to lose this game, honestly. Like, they have so much mana now, so if they have anything huge in their hand, which they do, because they've been missing land drops, then I think we're probably going to lose to it. Craterhoof. Terastodon. There's not really anything they could be tapping this much mana for that we could beat, unfortunately. So much mana. Ulamog, okay. That's actually not as bad as a lot of things would have been, but it's still bad. They should probably kill the Copter here. Yeah. So we don't really have any answers to this. Maybe we should have held the Council Judgment. That could have... I mean, that definitely didn't pay off because they had Nissa, which just bridged the gap. Like, I think if they didn't have the Nissa, like, it would definitely shut them off of a lot of things. But unfortunately, they did. So none of our hand does anything at all, pretty much. So I actually think I'm just going to crack this clue and get back on library in the hopes of drawing towards something that can deal with this. Okay, more card draw. Yeah, we're pretty dead here. Can't really think of anything we could do. If we sell the copter, we could kill this with the 4 damage from Skull Clamp, but that doesn't work. This is not the matchup we want to play. We want to play against the blue deck very badly. Um, but I think I'm going to draw another card as bad as that is. Like, there's like no way we win this though. And I mean, I guess I'll just put a bunch of permanents on the battlefield so the Annihilator trigger's less bad, but still pretty bad. So I think our only out is to draw sort of Fire and Ice, or sort of Feast and Famine, like immediately. Are they green? No, they're not green. Okay, so yeah, there's actually just no way we can win. So sack 1, 2, 3, 4. Take 10. I mean, we could, even if we unexpectedly absent this, then Nissa will just keep on making 3/3s. This is so good. Yeah, right. You got us. I mean, we could survive for like 1 or 2 more turns maybe, but there's no way we win at that point. Like, we're just playing full on defense, sacking 4 permanents a turn, 5 because we have to chump block, so that's not a winning position. Okay, so get in here, green. This is our best. Well, actually, oh, they have Ulamog too. That's so annoying. Milling them doesn't even do anything. I do still think it's better than Fire and Ice just because it gives protection from their deck, but that's annoying. So we'll bring in Banishing Light and Day of Judgment. And what do we? Yeah, this is gonna be a nightmare matchup. Like, this is really bad for us. Batterskull is not gonna be good here. We want all our flyers for sure. I actually think I'm gonna cut Thalia. They have so much mana ramp. It's a ground attacker which doesn't do too much, and like it'll just tax us almost as much as them. I mean, I guess yeah. Again, well, turn 1 Thalia might be good against them. They do have a decent number of things, but no, I still think that's a cut. I think all our other cards are just a bit better, and like specifically if we have turn 1 land Mox Thalia and they have a bunch of artifacts, then it's good. But in almost every other circumstance, it's not amazing. So yeah, all right, this is a keep again. Like, it's just not. It's like pretty perfect. I mean, we have a curve, but like a good draw from them will definitely crush us here. Like, I really don't like playing white decks against green decks. So we need to draw a couple more lands. I mean, yeah, we can't mill them out with a sword, but we can still just swing through all of their things, which is nice. And the fact that they had no 1-drop is good. They had a lot of stuff on turn 1 last game. So we actually will have a pretty respectable clock in the air here. So even if they're like, this will pressure planeswalkers very well and stuff. Yeah, this is definitely a good draw in this matchup. And what? Never keep a hand in this matchup on the draw where you have no plays. They have to have a removal spell here, or else they just absolutely should have mulliganed. Yeah, this matchup is too good to risk like just keeping a bad hand like this. If they didn't have the Ulamog, I would probably have played the sword here. It's bad against Reclamation Sage. Oh, they just conceded. Yeah, I mean, obvious mulligan. That was just not even close. So pretty poor play on their part, honestly. But if we didn't know they had an Ulamog, we would have played sword there, because next turn it's very likely we could just equip sword on this and put them on basically a 2-turn clock. I mean, 2 hits is functionally the end of the game there, but against Ulamog, the mill plan is not good, and making a 2/2 is solid, but I'd rather just have a big Air Force. So, all right. That's a lesson for everyone. Obviously, mulligan that hand when your deck has Mana Vault and like other mana 1-drops, and you're playing against a white deck and you're on the draw. Like, that's one of the easiest mulligans I can imagine, frankly. Archangel Avacyn might be good. It's not really a combo with Day of Judgment because you just need 9 mana for that, which will never happen. But it is a flyer. I think I like that better than a Blade Splicer. Again, we basically just want all of our cards to... Like, our 1-drops are fine because they can get in damage before they assemble, a bunch of 3/3s or whatever. And also, they all have relevant effects, even, like, Figure of Destiny can become Flyer. Threadbane Inspector draws a card. Student of Warfare can become bigger than their ground creatures, and Legion of Landing can flip. But yeah, I just don't really imagine Blade Splicer, that sort of thing on the ground being very good here. Now, all of our, I guess Adante Vanguard is another one that's a little sketchy, but it's cheaper than Blade Splicer. Yeah, I think this is how we're going to run it. All in on the Flyers. Okay, we'll keep this hand. Nice, low curve. Fairgrounds Warden should be very good in this matchup, and one Flyer at least. Specifically one that can protect our Fairgrounds Warden. So, what are we doing here? I think if we hadn't drawn the Stoneforge, I think I would lead on Figure of Destiny, and then plan on next turn Student plus Figure. Actually, we're still going to lead on Figure of Destiny. The fact that we're not going to spend 2 mana pumping Student of Warfare next turn, so Figure of Destiny is just better, because it's cheaper to pump, and it can be done at instant speed, so we can intimidate their blockers and hit without needing to pay mana up front. Pack Rat, interesting. Okay. That's not too bad. Ooh. Okay, that changes things. We were going to Stoneforge and then plan on Fairgrounds Warden, likely on the token, which is nice because then they can't get it back, and if we Flicker Wisp our Fairgrounds Warden, we can hit something else. But Wasteland, I think, will be quite good here. The question is if we want to hit black-green or red-green. I think we want to hit black-green with them having a Pack Rat in play. So we're going to start by attacking for 1, because we would rather play the Student of Warfare than spend 1 mana to pump up the Figure. So they can't block. I mean, if they do, we'll obviously pump this, but there's no way that would ever happen. So that's good. Also nice, I mean, we're on the draw, which makes Wasteland a bit worse, but we have a bunch of lands, so we know we're going to hit at least 3 land drops, and that's enough for us to function. There's a chance they'll even just miss a land drop, or like be color screwed now. Signet. Okay, so they do have their black mana again. Where'd you go? Ooh, never mind. They do not. So we're going to start by attacking again. If they want to trade here, that's fine. Then their 2-drop is trading with our 1-drop, and that's an exchange I'm willing to make. They almost definitely will not do that. Yeah. So now we can Luna and Relic Warder their Golgari Signet, and they might be out of black mana. And even if they do have another black source, then we're just still setting them back. The nice thing with having both of these in play is we will literally use all of our mana every single turn. Like, we have perfect mana sinks if we ever have like an extra mana lying around, so we will certainly be curving out. So we'll see if they have more stuff. Alright, Ancient Tomb, Basalt Monolith. Alright, well, they're out of black mana, but they are not out of mana. Oh, alright, there's their black again. So we could Fairgrounds Warden to continue taking them off of black, but I don't think that does too much for us here. I think I would rather just get the Stoneforge in play, and then next turn we can equip it. So we're going to attack with everything. Again, they can trade off with the Student if they want to, and we are just going to pump our Figure of Destiny here. There's some argument if they don't block anything to pumping the Student of Warfare next, like post-combat, but I don't think that's worth it just because we're going to use 4 mana on equipment next turn, so that 1 mana won't benefit us at all next turn, whereas pumping Figure will benefit us this turn and next turn. And also, I mean, they have a lot of mana, but they are at 15, and like a lot of their stuff costs life, like both Elves of Deep Shadow and Ancient Tomb make them pay life, so the extra point of damage from the Figure could potentially be relevant. And basically, no matter what, I think we'll be able to get in a hit with the sword next turn, so that'll be pretty sweet. They have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They could go up to 9 mana, so they cannot play Ulamog. They could play Channel Ulamog, I guess, but then they're paying even more life. And Craterhoof, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, they don't even have enough green for Craterhoof. But if they go Forest Craterhoof with all their lands, they would each get +3, so that would be 4, 8, plus 8, 16. We would still survive, so that's pretty sweet. I think we're in a pretty solid position here. So they're almost definitely just going to take this. They might trade Pack Rat with a Student of Warfare. They do not. Okay, so hit them for 5. Cast Stoneforge Mystic. Yeah, I think this is better than Fairgrounds Warden here. It gives us a lot of options for next turn. I actually think Sword of Feast and Famine is better than Sword of Body and Mind. The untapping lands will be very nice when we have these mana sinks, and making a 2/2 isn't super impressive. It also gets protection from the pack rat, and we have no indication that they're playing blue. So we'll see. This is a big turn. If they have something big. Oh, whoa. All right. Cool. Guess they didn't have something big. All right. I'm a little surprised that that went so smoothly. That definitely seemed like it could have been a pretty tough matchup, but our draw lined up very well. Wasteland was good. Leon and Relic Warder was good. We were just able to attack their mana while developing our board, and that's a pretty good place to be. And it's also huge that we were able to get down pressure, specifically a 1-drop before doing all that, so that we could be dealing damage at the same time as disrupting them. Like if we were spending a whole turn just dealing with their mana, then they can just eventually they'll draw out of it. Pretty easy mulligan here. No 1-drop, no second land, so yeah, that's just a pretty weak hand. Oh, another pretty weak hand, but I think we are going to keep it. Strip mine could be good. So I think we'll keep and put back a plains. Emiria Angel could be awkward since this is likely going to be just being used immediately, but we still have 3 lands, and like this helps. Like the worst case scenario is we flood out here. Like if we keep on drawing spells, most spells we can cast. So I think it's worth it to do this. And then yeah, there's a chance we'll strip mine on turn 1. Probably not. Okay, that's bad. Why do we keep on playing green decks? Ugh. We can't really library, unfortunately. But playing Leon and Relic Order is just so bad here. Yeah, this is a really horrible position. I think we're just gonna unexpectedly absent this in their draw step. It's not great, but it could set them back. Ideally, we can get Emiria Angel down pretty quickly, so I'm hesitant to just strip mine them quickly. Alright, so get rid of that. Now, they cannot cast it this turn, so hopefully they just have like some 3-drops and they won't be able to. Oh, no. Oh, come on. Yeah, there's like no chance we win at this point. We'll play Library and Thraben Inspector and crack our clue, but yeah, that's just so bad for us. I wish we had a Caracas to bounce this. So they have 6 mana, presumably. You could just cast a Primeval Titan and we would just concede. I hate playing this matchup. Why couldn't we have played a blue deck? Back to that green. So we'll do a similar sideboard plan here after we lose. Bring in the Sword, bring in Day of Judgment, bring in Archangel Avacyn to win in the air. Vanishing Light to deal with Raphellos and Planeswalkers. Pretty much our only hope is if they just are very flooded. Alright. Play that, play a Forest, and they'll have 5 mana. Well, they have 3 cards, and we know that 1 is a brick. Oh, but then they're tapping 4. Questing Beast is not actually the worst thing ever. It's pretty good, actually. We have basically no ways to block that in our deck. So that's definitely good. It puts a clock on us, but it's not going to, like, snowball card advantage. It'll just hit for 4, and we have no Planeswalkers, so it doesn't do much beyond that. Now they only have 1 card, so we'll see. Oh, okay, there's an answer. Nice. Flicker Wisp. So Flicker Wisp can make another clue at some point, but I think we probably just want to Fairgrounds Warden this turn, and then hopefully we draw land, and we can go next turn Emiria Angel plus play land and get the land drop. Alternatively, we could just play Emiria Angel this turn, and then we're taking 4, but hitting them. Yeah, I think that I like that better, actually. I think we're trying to, like, race, and we're okay with taking some hits if we're establishing a clock. That seems more important. So we'll do that. And then, I mean, they could just slam some huge thing here, and we'll lose to that. But if they have a land or a mana dude in hand, then I think we can beat the board. No real consideration to Fairgrounds Warden on Raphellos, I think. Like, I just think we'll lose to the Questing Beast if we do that. So we just need to hope they don't have something big. If they have a great draw, that's probably the end. Even 4 mana. Okay, Tireless Tracker actually is not. All right, never mind. Not the end. Let's see that land. Bummer. So We're under a lot of pressure here. Can we afford to just Fairgrounds Warden the Questing Beast, though? Like, then we're just not doing anything. We hit them for 3. We're still nowhere near killing them. They have a tireless tracker, so if they draw lands, they can turn it into stuff. This is close. I kind of think we just need to Flicker Wisp here. No, I think we're going to Blade Splicer here. And then just take our 4. Blade Splicer can hold off their board very well, or the token can, and then we can Flicker Wisp the Blade Splicer. And if we Fairgrounds Warden, then the Golem can get in there. So I think that's worth it. Bummer that we didn't hit a land there for sure, though. If we had to hit another land, then we could play our Flicker Wisp and have 7 power on the board, and that's actually a reasonable clock. But now we just have a very slow clock. So hopefully they hit another Llanowar Elves. How much mana do they have? They have 8 mana, so they can cast basically anything, and lands are all redraws. So they really don't have that many bricks, but hopefully they hit one of the few. Okay, so this is fine. We'll fall to 8. And then... Oh, no. Nissa, no. Alright, we're probably going to die next turn. Land. Come on. So, we don't really have a choice, but just to play Flicker Wisp and make another Golem. I think we need to have 2 big blockers back on defense, and we're definitely hitting them. Like, the Nissa can just do Nissa things at this point. Like, we just need to somehow manage to kill them. So this puts them down to 14. Then we'll have 6 power in the air. If we can leave up Strip Mine, which is actually good interaction because it can kill these lands. I mean, we also could have just blinked one of their lands, but getting another Golem is definitely better than that. So they don't have that good attacks, actually. 2 First Strikers is actually very nice here. They have infinite mana, so whatever they draw, they can cast. Be like a Wall of Roots. Four mana. We can beat maybe a 4-drop. Please don't tap anything else, though. Oh, we definitely cannot beat that. Yeah, that's 100% the end of the game, because they have 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, so they can monsters for 4, kill our 2 flyers. Maybe they'll just make a huge misplay and not do that, but if they do that, then we definitely lose. And we might just be dead on board, actually. Okay, that's sort of weird. I mean, I guess they're just planning on killing the Blade Splicer. Man, they drew well, though, to be honest. Like, they had no cards, and lands would have been fine draws, but to hit Nissa into Polukranos is pretty rough. Polukranos is probably the best non-creative thing they could have drawn. It's the only way they could interact with our flyers in a meaningful way. How do we ever win this? Is there a way? If we block with 2 Golems, then they can just Polukranos down one of them. I think we are just going to block with 2 Golems, though. And if they blow their Polukranos on this and somehow leave us with flyers, like, we lose if they play well. There's no way around that. But this gives them possibly a chance of misplaying. Nope, looks like they are not going to do that. Oh, God, I just want to play non-green decks so badly. So, we lose. Well, in game 2, if we're on the play and we don't have to mulligan, like, we could maybe win somehow, but I do think we're under 50% to win even on the play. Mono green is definitely worse for us than black green, or like a not, like, yeah, this is definitely just the worst matchup. Maybe we could have a worse matchup against like blue-white control with like 3 main deck sweepers, but this is pretty much as bad as it gets. Yeah, well, I guess we'll keep fighting for a bit. Like, we can hit them for 3 in the air down to 11 and play Batterskull, and then if we could put Batterskull on a Myria Angel, we could maybe race them. I think that's our only out. And Batterskull can gain us some life, obviously, this turn 2 blocking. So hit them for 3, they fall to 11, and then next turn we can hit them for 8 in the air. Fortunately, that's not quite enough, but we have them dead in 2 turns. And again, like a 7/7 flying lifelink vigilance creature is pretty good. But if they just attack with everything, we might just be dead on board. Hopefully they don't do that. Like, if they do that, we chump the Pelucranos with one of these little dudes. We chump one of the forests with one of them also. We eat Tireless Tracker. Okay, no, we wouldn't actually die to that. We would be fine. They will have another 3/3/4 like attacker too. Wrath of God would be pretty funny here. Just kill all their lands. There's a couple of situations, like if we had hit land a turn earlier, then we could sort of be in this, and if we hadn't drawn this useless Leon Relic Warder, maybe we could have been in this. Like, we're close to being close here, but I don't think it's going to be enough, unfortunately. It will get a bit better post board, but I still think we're not going to be favored. So we'll see what attacks they end up going with. They might just send Questing Beast, all their lands, and Pelucranos, or they might send all of the small things too. I think we basically just want them to attack with as few creatures as possible, though. Absolute best case scenario, they only attack with Pelucranos. Okay, no, they found the line. So block like that, like that. As of now, I mean, we're definitely gonna block with these other things too, but then we're taking 2, 4, 8, plus 9, 17. Okay, so yeah, that's not even close to making us live. So if we do this, that just prevents maximum damage. Well, we can move the germ over to the Questing Beast. But if we do this, we take 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 13, and so we just die no matter what we do, unfortunately. This is our maximum damage preventing block, but we still die. Exactly 0. Alright, well, that's a bummer. They had a good draw, and they also just have a natural huge advantage in the matchup. Winds of Abandon is probably good too, actually. This is good. Green Sword is good. Day of Judgment's probably good. And then we're just going to, again, cut some of these dorky ground creatures that just get outclassed. We definitely want to cut Leon and Relic Warder. That seems quite unimpressive. I think we will cut the Adante Vanguard here. And we'll even cut the Hero. I love this card in general, especially against decks with no removal, but like, it's hard to imagine a world where we can profitably attack with it. Oh, Thali is also not great. We could bring in Gideon. At that point, we would want to bring in an extra land. I think we're going to not bring in Gideon, but we are still going to bring in an extra land. And then cut... I think Batterskull. It's good if we can put it on a flyer, but that's so much mana, and that's a pretty late game play. And I think by that stage, we're already probably going to lose, and we're definitely just always going to be getting one of these green swords. If we, we can actually play one more card. So we will just play this Batterskull then, I think. I like it better than these other ground blockers, so. Alright, hopefully we draw a bunch of flyers and they don't have a nut draw. Rofellos is not a card we want to see. This hand has a lot of removal, which is sort of weird. I think the Day of Judgment could be quite good, actually, though, so we're going to keep this. And it's an interesting question if we want to play Factory or Mox Diamond. I think we're going to play Factory. Yeah, I'll play Factory. It's nice to have creatures post-Wrath. And so we'll play that turn 1 Smuggler's Copter, and then they'll probably play a 1-drop, and we'll play Walking Ballista, crew the Copter the Ballista, hit for 1, hopefully draw a land and discard Winds of Abandon. Oh, they didn't even have a 1-drop. Okay. We drew the land. Still just gonna start with this though. This is an answer to Raphellos, luckily. And then yeah, almost definitely pitching to Wind of Abandon. We have another sweeper that's not gonna give them a land. Hit for 3. Yeah, we are gonna discard this. Going with 4 lands is gonna be important since we have a 4-drop in hand, and we can just level up Ballista next turn, which seems pretty good. Like if they play Raphellos and we level up Ballista and kill the Raphellos and still have the Ballista around, that's pretty nice for us. And if they don't do that, we might just animate Factory and hit for that. Okay, nice. That's great. Walking Ballista may prove essential this game. Oh, there's another answer, but I think it's better just to Ballista that. Yeah, we'll save the Fairgrounds Warden for something that's harder to kill. Or potentially just discard it. So we would pitch a land here. Honestly, our hand is pretty good. We would probably pitch most things, but we are still going to loot. Yeah, 3-bit Inspector is, I think, worse than the other cards. Actually, it's sort of close. But I think it is worse. We're not really interested in card draw because we have Factory and Ballista, so our mana will be tied up already. It is nice that it crews the Copter for cheap. That's the main argument in favor of keeping it, but I can definitely imagine a situation where the Day of Judgment is good, and we have 2 attackers that would stick around after that, and I mean, yeah, this Copter will put a pretty quick clock on them. And if they play another 1-drop, we can just keep on ballisting them down. Ballisting? Ballisting? What's the verb for that? I don't know. Teutane Clan. So, I think we're in a pretty good position here. I mean, our board is certainly more impressive than theirs. They have 7 cards and the potential to do horrifying things that are much more powerful than the best thing we can do. But maybe we can sort of cheese out a win with this Copter before they can interact with it. Okay, Yavimaya Elder. That's something that we will Fairgrounds Warden, actually. If we draw land, then we can just go animate this. Okay, nice. We're not going to... Or, actually, we are going to loot. At this point, we're off the Day of Judgment plan. I don't love showing them that we have that, but I think it's... I think it's worth... Well, I mean, we'll crew and see what we draw. I guess we pitch a land over it, but we do not want to be casting Verdict at this point, or Day of Judgment, when we already have, like, especially with the Fairgrounds Warden in play. So we hit for 6. We can kill them next turn. Yeah, definitely pitching the Day of Judgment here. Sad that they know about it, but it's more important to make sure we can win this game. Turn 1 Smuggler's Copter was very good this game. I can't believe we got this card so late. It should never go that late. There's so many decks that could use this card. Okay, so we can Ballista this if we want to. Do we want to do that? No. They could play a land now, and that would be a bit annoying, but they also might not have land. Oh, nice, they don't. So I think we are just going to crew this with a Ballista and then shoot them, and then level this up and shoot them both. So, yeah, that looks good. And then we'll play a land and just hit with the Mistress Factory. I think that's a bit better than playing Stoneforge. I guess. Wait, we're hitting for 5, 6. So we don't need to kill off the Elvish Mystic yet. If they want to chump block something, that's fine. Archangel Avacyn. Wow, that's even better than Stoneforge. So they take it. I think we are at this point just going to kill the Elvish Mystic now. Minimize the chance they can do something drastic this turn. Now they can't play like a Thragtusk or something like that. Alright, nice. Managed to take them down that game. Do not envy our position in game 3 when we're on the draw and we can't just Ballista everything they play. Do we want to make any changes here? I don't think so. We could cut a land, but our curve is honestly pretty high at this point, and we have the Mox Diamond. Yeah, I think we're just gonna run this. And like, I mean, I guess Gideon is pretty good, but it's not really the game we're planning on playing. In general, it's very good against mono green, but it's better when you have other stuff to back it up. Like, it is sort of just playing a different game than the rest of our deck is, and we want our deck to all be on the same page of just like disrupting their mana and trying to get in with flyers. We really are extremely reliant on flyers with this build. I would love to play against a matchup where that doesn't matter, and they're just playing their dopey mana leaks and whatnot, but unfortunately we keep on playing green decks. Banishing Light could be awkward because they could just kill it with a Reclamation Sage or a Nature's Claim or something, but those cards are already going to be amazing against us. We have so many things that they hit, so not much to do, unfortunately. Alright, this hand's great. I love another land, but Stoneforge can find a sword that gives us pro green. We have a 1-drop. We have 2 answers to their things. Flickerus can even find us a second sword that gives us protection from green if they deal with the first one, or if we just need to and have time for it. No Refellers, please. Oh, they've had Refellers all 3 games. That's frustrating. So they only have 2 cards, but it's pretty likely there's something scary. I think it's better to unexpectedly absent that than to Winds of Abandon that. I would love to get the Stoneforge in play, but we can't really use it for value next turn anyways. So I think we're just going to draw a step, do the same thing, draw a step, hit their Refellers with unexpectedly absent. And again, just draw stepping it, because if we do it in their upkeep or on our turn, then they'll just draw it and play it. And then next turn they'll have a bunch of mana, but this way they can't replay it until turn 4, and then they won't have a lot of mana until turn 5. Granted, we do have Banishing Light, so we could just try and Banishing Light it, but I think I would rather be advancing my own board and like get a Flickerus down or something than that. Oh, okay. Well, unfortunately, we need to Banishing like that. That's just a very scary card for us to deal with. It can kill Flickerus very easily. It pressures us quickly and is just really good against creatures. So we still have an answer to a big threat. I think it is better to do that. I mean, we could have also gone Student plus Winds of Abandon, but giving them a land I don't love, although it looks like they're out of threats. So that's pretty sweet. They didn't play their Refellers. That's odd. I think we're just going to play Stoneforge, search up Sword of Body and Mind, and crack the clue. Or, no, it's probably better just to play the Student of Warfare. Yeah, I think that's better. Get that clock down. More stuff to carry swords. We could also strip mine, but strip mine, I mean, like, they have so much more mana than us, and we have more cards, so I don't think that makes too much sense. It is weird that they did not play with the Refellers, though. So, Sword of Body and Mind. I think that's better than Feast and Famine. Although, no, it is better than Feast and Famine. We'll kill them on milling before we kill them on damage, so I think that's good. And they're not going to have any ways to deal with it. Plus, just making 2/2s is pretty nice. Yeah, and I do think that's better than cracking the clue. We're not playing a long game and drawing cards. We're trying to end the game before they draw out of their mana flood. Or not even really mana flood, just like they only had 1 payoff and we were able to deal with it. So, like, a Questing Beast would not be a problem. Nissa would be a medium problem. But, okay, nothing there. That's good. So, we'll play this. I think at this point I actually am going to strip mine. Just because 1 extra mana. I guess actually pumping Student of Warfare is relevant. That could speed up the clock. So, we will probably do that. Put this sword into play. Put the sword... Oh, let's see. If we put the sword on the Student of Warfare and level it up to 2... Then if we draw a land, it becomes a double striker. Yeah, that looks really good, actually. So we'll do that. And then hopefully we can draw another land next turn, funnily enough. Alright, looking pretty good, actually. So mill 10. See what we hit. Golos. Ugin. They can't cast that, but that's a scary card. Wow, alright. So we've been dropping game 1s, but managing to rally and beat these green decks. So we'll see. I mean, at this point, it looks like maybe we do have a decent green matchup, but I'd still rather not put that to the test. And yeah, that's enough Rafeloses for quite a while, unless they're on my side of the board. So yeah, in general, I do think the flyer plan is what you want there. Like if you're playing mono white against mono green, they'll have huge ground blockers, and so even cards that are often some of your best cards, like Blade Splicer and Adante Vanguard, you saw we just cut them there because they just aren't that effective. They have so many ways of generating 3/3s and 4/4s and 5/5s and 2/4s, and it's just very, very hard to have a good attacks on the ground. The only ground attackers that are good are ones that can get in under them and sort of poke in for some damage before they can establish their blockers, or that have relevant effects beyond just attackers and blockers. So Blade Splicer and Adante Vanguard do not have that, but something like Thraben Inspector or Figure of Destiny can. And like in that last game, we did win with ground attackers for the most part, but that's because we were able to disrupt them very well. Like if we hadn't had an answer to Pelucranos, then our entire ground team would have just been totally brickwalled. Mad Dog 2099. Okay, no one drop, but our hand is pretty much as good as it can be beyond that. I mean, turn 2 Copter into turn 3 Splicer or Fairgrounds Warden is great. So we'll keep this, and then hopefully we draw a Mox or a 1-drop. Ooh, burn. Presumably. I mean, I guess it could be blue-red, but Council's Judgment is a solid draw. We already have a removal spell, but this is a much more flexible one. All right, Eidolon here. Boros Signet, okay. We're definitely not going to be attacking with this factory next turn, and we could want to play Spectral Procession, or we definitely would if we drew it, so we'll play the Copter first, or we'll play Plains before factory. In general, attacking with factory into red mana is dicey. They have a lot of ways to remove it for 1 mana, and we have lots of ways to use our mana next turn already. Avalanche Riders, okay, that's... Actually, that is pretty annoying. We can just play factory and animate it and crew that way, but we can't advance our board unless we draw something here. Okay, that's better. We will just do that now. And then again, we'd love to draw another 1-drop. That's probably our best draw would be like a Thraben Inspector here. Too bad we don't have Mother of Runes or Giver of Runes in this deck. And in terms of what to discard, that's actually close. All of our cards are pretty good. Okay, I think it'll be Hero. It's just too slow. And again, we're going to play Plains. Not interested in attacking with the factory next turn. And Summoning Sickness doesn't matter for crewing Copter, so even though we can't attack with Mishra's Factory next turn, we can crew the Copter. Hence, us being able to use this Vampire to crew our Copter. So yes, them spending 4 mana to hit us for 2 and dealing with 1 land is not that scary. Ooh, okay. It is blue-red. I guess that makes sense. Boros Signet is not a usual card for mono-red, but I'd much rather be playing blue-red. Actually, I think mono-red would be a pretty good matchup. So maybe this is slightly worse for us. Rabble Master. Okay, that's a weird card. Or, I guess that's not that weird. We'll just Fairgrounds Warden that. They could deal with the Fairgrounds Warden, but... I mean, we could also Council's Judgment it, but I think I'd rather advance our board and be able to get in a hit, so we will do that. Actually, maybe we should just play Blade Splicer. Yeah, I think I like that. We can still crew and have back a nice blocker, and this puts more power on the board. It saves Fairgrounds Warden for something that's harder to deal with, and in the absolute worst case scenario, I mean, they can just kill this Golem, but I'm okay with going for a race. Like, I think we're better off in a race than trying to outgrind the Shelldock Isle deck that has blue mana. We can't attack with a Vampire now, so that is definitely a bit unfortunate, but I think this is still worth it. Adante Vanguard. I think we're going to pitch the Vanguard here. Against the Rabble Master, I don't relish the idea of paying a bunch of life. So next turn, we don't have great use of our mana. We'll probably just Fairgrounds Warden that. My guess is they'll kill this Golem and then hit us, and then we'll kill their thing with Fairgrounds Warden. Smuggler's Copter has just put in so much work in this league. So are they killing our thing? Glorybringer would be bad. Oh, that's so bad. So they attack with everything, exert, kill this, and then we take a huge hit. We can take 10. Oh, interesting. They're leaving that back. So exert, kill our golem. Do we want to... No, we definitely don't want to block this because I think our plan is going to be Fairgrounds Warden this, and then hit for 3 and flip Adanto, flip Legion's Landing. Yeah, that seems like the best thing. So we'll take 6 here, and then this won't untap next turn, and then the turn after we can Council Judgment it. So, yeah. Alright, actually, we should have played the Mistress Factory last turn, and we're getting punished for it. We would have been able to animate Factory. Oh, no, never mind, we couldn't, because this won't flip until after attacks, so we will definitely play it now, but can't do anything with it. So, we will take out their Rabblemaster, and then hit them for 5, gain 1, and flip our Legion's Landing. And almost definitely going to be pitching this Plains here. We would love to draw, like, Unexpectedly Absent. That would probably be the best thing we could hit. Doesn't matter how we stack these triggers here. Flip. Loot. Selfless Spirit. That's a great draw. That's actually amazing. That protects us against a lot of things, and it protects our Fairgrounds Warden. Yeah, that actually potentially would have been even better than Unexpectedly Absent, although those are definitely the two best things. So now we can play an equipped sword or Council's Judgment and attack with Factory. Okay, that's thank God we have the Selfless Spirit. We're still taking 4, and that's trading with one of our creatures, but that's probably fine. And then, oh, we're so close to being able to kill them, we can hit them for 8. Oh wait, no, if we use sword, then we crew with Blade Splicer, hit with 3 with Copter. Oh, we have exactly lethal. If they tap out for this bonfire, we have exactly lethal. Hopefully they tap out. Although, I mean, even if they just play it for 1, we still sack the Selfless Spirit. So it looks like it is red splash blue, not blue red. So yeah, again, we have exactly enough mana and exactly enough damage to kill them next turn. If they don't do anything. Oh, but they also do have... Never mind, I forgot they have these goblins. Are they going to attack? They do attack. Alright, please tap out for something stupid. Please tap out for something stupid. Ah, they didn't do it. Alright, so now we need to decide what to do. I think going for the kill is too risky, because if we fail, then we're in a horrible position. The Glorybringer will just kill us. So I think the smartest move is just to play Council's Judgment and then a 1/1 Walking Ballista and crew the Copter with that and hit for 6. Let's see, we could also animate Factory and attack for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I mean, yeah, we have multiple ways to go for the kill. We could also go for the kill by playing Walking Ballista and crewing that way. But either one of those plans loses to a burn spell. It's so close. Another option is we could animate Factory, crew the Copter with Blade Splicer, or probably Fairgrounds Warden actually. Hit them for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh no, we'd be 1 short if we did that. Oh wait, no, yeah, dude. So crew with this, hit them for 7, and then hope to hit a land on the loot. And if we do hit a land, we could go for a 2/2 Ballista, which would be lethal. And if we don't hit a land, or if they interact with us, then we can go for post-combat Council Judgment. I think that's the best line. Say they have a way to kill the Fairgrounds Warden. They probably would have done that already, though. They could have like a Deceiver, Exarch, or a Pester Knight. That would be annoying. I think this is our best bet here. And then pitching the sword. This gives us a chance to win this turn and makes us not dead if we don't hit it. So I think this is the best line. It's very close, though. There's lots of reasonable plays here. I guess if we just... went for the safest line is just like Council Judgment now to play around Spell Pierce or something, and then play 1/1 Ballista and just hit them and have a mostly guaranteed kill next turn. Maybe that's actually the best move. Oh man, this is so hard. They also could just have nothing. Like, they tapped a bunch of mana at first, and then untapped, and then played it for 1, which is maybe an indicator that they just left this back as a bluff, but also the 3 damage could be very relevant. Alright, we're gonna go for this. Going for the post-combat option of Ballista or Council Judgment. Accrue this just because they have some, like, just, this is our most important, our creature we least want to die, so we just want to keep it out of harm's way if possible. Okay, so they are going to play Pestermite here, looks like. Yeah. Okay, so now we hit them for 4. So now we can either kill Pestermite. Unfortunately, we don't have enough mana, even if we don't attack with the factory, to play Ballista plus Council Judgment. I guess, yeah, against Pestermite, we might have played this wrong. We could have just Council Judgment plus Ballista if we hadn't animated the factory. So the question is, can we survive a Glorybringer hit? Yes, we can. I mean, they can kill something. I guess, but can we survive a Glorybringer hit and still kill them next turn? Still yes, because we get the sword. So, I think I like playing a 1/1 Ballista and passing, and if they go for the combo, we can break it up with Ballista. And if they just go to combat and attack and exert Glorybringer, we take 6. I mean, we die to some burn spells, but not too many. They can kill the Fairgrounds Warden, but then I think just the sword should make us have lethal. So we're going to go for the Ballista here. We could also Council Judgment the Glorybringer, but then we're just conceding to the combo. And I think there's a pretty reasonable chance they have one of the pieces. And we don't just lose to Glorybringer attack here. Plus, they probably don't think they need to kill us this turn, because they don't know that we have this sword in hand. So they'll probably... Oh, no, they are attacking with it. Oh. That's... Okay, yeah. So they exert here. Exert on the Fairgrounds Warden. Sure. That dies. They have a blocker now. And then we block a goblin, and then we are just going to kill the Pestermite here. I don't want to take 7. That just opens up too many burn spells. So we take 6. Dead to Char or Fire Blast. Oh, wait. Oh. We took 5, so we're good against a decent number of things. Alright, what do they have here? 5 mana. That's scary. Yorion. Nice! We win! That's sweet. Yeah, Sword of Fire and Ice should be able to get there then. They don't have any mana up. I mean, they could have Fire Blast. That's the only way they could win. But I don't think they have Fire Blast. Yeah, I think this should be enough. So, they can't have Daze either. We'll just play this land, play Sword of Fire and Ice, and get there. And huge that it's specifically red and blue, because they have a blocker of both, but it does work. So, let's see. Yeah, any of these are lethal, so we'll just equip it to the Vampire, and then it hits for 3, and then we can deal the 2 damage to them. Wow, really, really tight game. I'm not sure we took all the best lines. It's very close, but we did end up getting there. See if we can do the same in the next round. That made me sweat. Alright. Let's see if we can keep it going. Get that trophy. We don't have any instant speed interaction, which is unfortunate against the combo, or at least not in the sideboard to bring in. We do have Unexpectedly Absent and Ballista in the main deck for that. I don't think this is a Day of Judgment matchup. Archangel Avacyn is a nice counter to Glorybringer. Sword of Feast and Famine is bad. There's like no situation where we would want that. We probably do want Vanishing Light. They have some permanents we want to deal with, and they don't have like great artifact or great enchantment disruption probably. This actually could be a matchup where we want Gideon. It protects us against the combo and is just pretty good against a lot of their threats. So Archangel Avison, Gideon Jura, and Winds of Abandon are the 3 cards that I'm considering. Hero Bladehold is really bad against Glorybringer, but honestly, like, so is most of our deck. Thalia is not amazing, but I guess just a 2-1 first strike is decent. Huge that we drew Selfless Spirit there to protect against the Bonfire. That would have definitely ended the game otherwise. Man, this is close. I think I like Archangel Avison better than Emiria Angel. This isn't a matchup where we just need every flyer we can play, and I think the Angel is going to be nice against like a lot of their burn spells, just saving our things. Batterskull seems decent. They are going to be pressuring our life total. We didn't see a ton that Leon Relic Order hits, although we did see the Boros Signet. Adante Vanguard is a horrible blocker, and they're on the play, so they could have the initiative potentially. So I think I'm going to do this. This is the build I'm going to settle on here. Gideon Jura, I think, is going to be potentially pretty good here. It is expensive. We brought in 2 5s, so our curve is definitely a lot higher now, but we'll see how it plays out. All right, well, you'll strip mine Mox Diamond. We can kill all of our own lands. They mulligan, which makes strip mine a lot better. Hopefully they don't have a 1-drop. Blackleaf Cliffs. Was not expecting that. Oh, wow. That's awesome. That was definitely the perfect draw. Now the strip mine and Mox Diamond look great. Especially Mox Diamond. So now, next turn we can draw. We can play Thalia next turn and draw a bunch of cards. Okay, so we will draw our card here. That's spicy. We could just get rid of that, but I don't think that's necessary. I think we're going to play Mox Diamond, pitch a Plains, draw a card, play Thalia. We do have a lot of non-creatures ourselves, but I think that's worth it. I guess we could also just... No, we should do that. Well, we could strip mine them, but they played a Signet and we're on the draw. I don't think that really accomplishes what we want to be doing. It is annoying to set back a little bit of our things, but we can still play Hero next turn. Pitch that. Draw a card. Play Plains. Play Thalia. And Flicker Wisp is nice. That gave us a play we can do next turn while still library, which we might want to do. So now we've drawn 2 cards and accelerated our mana and played a thing. Oh, they got punished for not playing the Mox last turn. I mean, they might have drawn it this turn, but... Signet. Wow, they have so much artifact mana. That's a bit surprising. So we're going to draw a card here. And then I think having drawn that, we're definitely just going to play Land, Blade Splicer, and then plan on Flicker Wisping it next turn. Definitely no argument to deal... Oh, whoops. Ooh. Thank God that cost 1 more. I was just talking about how we didn't want to play and looking at it. And yeah. So, yeah, definitely no argument to Banishing Lighting one of these because they just have so many. Like, they're ahead on mana. Same with Strip Mine. Like, they've accelerated more than us. So our angle is cards, not mana denial at this point. Which makes the Thalia slightly awkward. But it was good there. I mean, it made them pay 2 mana to play both of these. 2 extra mana. I think we're in a pretty good spot here. I mean, they could play a Glorybringer, but, like, we still have a decent board, and we have so many cards, and our life total is not under any pressure. We don't have any instant speed interaction. So that's our one thing we're missing. So maybe that's an argument for actually targeting their red sources a bit. But we want to develop our board before we do that because they're not representing a threat at this point. Oh, wow. They just are mono artifact mana in this game. Nice. That was a great draw. So we are going to start by drawing a card. Okay, if we hadn't drawn that, I think we would strip mine their red source. Actually, wait, they can just kill us now, I think. If they have a red source, they can kill us. Actually, yeah, we are going to strip mine their red source. I think that's that's worth it. We don't want them to combo us, and we have a great board, so as long as we can just keep as long as we can keep developing our board while preventing them from comboing, that's pretty ideal. So hit them for 6. I almost played Flicker as pre-combat, but you definitely just want to hit for 1 with the Blade Splicer before we bounce it or flicker it. And we're gonna play this before playing the or before using the strip mine, because we want to make sure that we can play around days. Alright, so you got a lot of mana, but not a lot of red mana. And so now I think we're just going to sit on our board and just hold up Unexpectedly Absent for the rest of the game. I mean, if we can develop our board while playing Unexpectedly Absent, that's better, but we're not going to tap out here. I do think we'll keep drawing cards, though. Actually, no. With Selfless Spirit, there's no need to draw more cards. We have everything we need. If we knew we were drawing a land, that would be better, but getting the Selfless Spirit in play seems pretty good here. So we will go to combat. We'll see if they play Pestermite. They do not. Hit for lethal, actually, but they definitely have some form of interaction. Brazen Borrower. Okay, I mean, yeah, we can't do anything about that. So they fall to 3, or yeah, they fall to 3. And now we can play, well, so they could just go Pestermite here and then untap and play Red Source Splinter Twin. So I think we're just going to pass. Yeah, we're going to pass. We don't want them to, like, we could play Student of Warfare or draw a card. But if we do either of those things, oh no, they can't play Days. Yeah, I actually don't think there's any way we get punished for drawing a card here and hoping to hit another land drop. Yeah, we're going to do that. Because they can't play free counterspell. Okay, that's slightly annoying, but not too bad. We'll discard Hero Blade Hold. So they could sweep our board. I guess that's... Oh, Wildfire. Wow. That's annoying. That's really good. Man, we got really punished for not playing the Selfless Spirit here. We do still have some mana. I think we are just going to Unexpectedly Absent now, though, because we're not going to be able to hold up mana for a while. So we'll put back this just because it makes the most mana. But that definitely punished us. So, unfortunate that we did not play the Selfless Spirit. I was more worried about the combo than a sweeper because we have so much gas to follow it up, but Wildfire is a particularly good sweeper because it also hits our lands and puts us down to 1 mana. So we're really hoping to draw a land so that we can... nice. Now we can play Smuggler's Copter, which is lethal next turn. It'd be pretty brutal if they play Dak, but we know that they're drawing an Everflowing Chalice. Hopefully this is just a Chalice. Okay, they don't have Dak mana, that's good. Oh no. Oh, see, they have the Dak. Brutal. It looks like they do. So they can steal our Copter. Oh no. Oh, they're just playing that. Sweet. Nice. Now, I mean, we're going to go for the kill. Like, they could have something, but also, Selfless Spirit is a particularly good way to do it because it can protect this. Alright. Trophy attack. Are we going to get there? Alright, sweet. Pulled off the trophy. I'm now 3-0 in mono white drafts that I've recorded. And for 3-0s and 3 trophies. And I think that's not a coincidence. I think this deck is commonly very, very open. And if you know how to prioritize stuff, it's amazing. Specifically, the thing that I think most is most important to understand about this deck is how valuable the colorless lands are. I pretty much took a colorless land over a spell every single chance I got an opportunity, and that's absolutely what you want to do. Like, never ever pass a Strip Mine in mono white. It is the best card in your deck. I mean, it was good there. It wasn't even like that amazing. Library was very good, but just in general, like, look at our sideboard. There's so many cards that we could have played in the main deck, and I mean also Sword, and that's just how it often goes. Like, if you can generate a lot of value from your mana base without sacrificing much from your spells at all. So I would definitely recommend that if you're trying to draft mono white. And also, Walking Ballista overperformed. That might have been just because we played against a lot of decks where it happened to be good, but it might just be good against a lot of decks. I mean, it's not particularly good against blue decks, but that's already your best matchup. So who knows? Also, Selfless Spirit was quite good. And honestly, the MVP of the deck was probably Smuggler's Copter. We did not do Skull Clamp things a single time. But Copter is probably the MVP of the deck. It's just so cheap, evasive, hits hard, filters. It really just does everything you want it to do. And you always have a way to crew it, pretty much. There was never a time when we didn't have that. So, yeah, really great card. Super high pick. Thanks for joining. Pretty happy we could get another trophy, and definitely tune in later this week for a pick order video. Thanks, everyone.